Madam Speaker, we all know what the Audit General's Office is known for and the values they represent. In every report that came out of AGO since time immemorial, entities under its scrutiny had to go through a baptism of fire whenever the AGO came knocking. I have full respect for their work. Over the years, the AGO has found such instances of overpayments, payments without evidence that goods and services were delivered, duplicate payments, and in one instance amounting to $18.6 million, and etc. in many ministries and organs of the states it audited. One agency was found to have called for a quotation instead of a tender for a project exceeding 70,000 in 2010 and 11 AGO report. Another agency was cited to have issued purchase order to the term contractor only after the contractor had started work. AGO has also revealed that 10 statutory boards did not present their FY 2006-07 reports to Parliament within 6 months time frame. And 3 of these boards had also been late the previous 2 years. One of them did not even present its audited financial statement to Parliament for the previous 2 financial years. Awarding contracts to sole tenderers despite the offer did not meet technical requirements specified in the tenders and paying more than the contract price for extension of contract were all flagged. Even the agency under the Ministry of National Development was cited for overpayments, late payments, mistaken use of waiver of competition. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs was cited for not having complied with government procurement principles of transparency, open and fair competition, and value for money when an overseas mission was audited. The Public Service Division was also flagged for informing a bidder that he had secured a contract worth $455,000 13 days before the tender board made the award decision. Some of these lapses were small in financial values, while others were serious, and the list goes on. Like what the minister said yesterday, in some country, the CEO would have taken a deep bow, apologized and resigned, but I guess this is not in our culture. Madam, the Aljunied Aukang Punggol East Town Council is also found by AGO to have erred in some of these areas, and I'm certain AHPETC will not be the last as well, because good corporate governance is a work in progress. The Workers' Party take the AGO findings very seriously. We have acknowledged our shortcomings in certain areas as well as defended our actions in others. On any other given day, the report may read like a typical AGO report on any entity under audit, but today, the spotlight is on AHPETC, and we will explain to the public. First, I would like to address specifically one of the major lapses mentioned by AGO under para 3.2c of the main report, which states that AHPETC does not have a system to monitor arrears of conservancy and services charges accurately, and hence there is no assurance that arrears are properly managed. We have explained to AGO that AHPETC does have a system to track every financial transaction in a resident's account, including HDB grants, monthly SNCC, payments, penalties, legal costs, and interest, if any, dating back to 1996 if the residents are from Aukang. We have also explained that these SNCC payments are collected and uploaded into our financial and accounting system. Every transaction via cash, credit card, check, nets, internet banking and interbank gyro is identified and posted into the respective resident's account record in accounts receivable and general ledger at the end of the day, or when the collection agencies inform us. This has allowed AHPETC to monitor arrear situation of an individual account live, up to date and on demand. AHPETC is able to account to residents as to whether they have paid their SNCC or whether they are in arrears if they were to inquire at any of our branches across our town. Madam, what AHPETC does not have is a program to generate aggregated SNCC data in the format requested by MND and to monitor them in that specific format. The computer system currently in use at AHPETC was an upscale version of the system from Aukang SMC, and it was put into operation within a short span of 1 month. A lot of the features required to handle the operation of a GRC were not implemented then. As we have mentioned in our media release, all reports submitted to M&D up to April 2013 were prepared by staff based on data generated by the IT system and extracted through manual sorting and counting. AHPETC also acknowledges that this manual process is not ideal and efficient, as the data set is huge. It is also tedious and subject to reporting and human errors. AHPETC has made incremental improvements to the computer system over the years. Our system may be rudimentary in features compared to what was available before 2011, but it is certainly robust in keeping a reliable database. We took time to have the data and process reviewed internally and externally before we released our SNCC arrears rate of 5.66% as at 30th September 2014, a few weeks ago. In short, we were not evasive when we said we would address the issue in due course. We will work towards providing timely data to M&D in coming weeks, albeit not in the format the ministry required, but nonetheless relevant enough to take a snapshot of the arrears situation at AHPETC. Next, I want to highlight the challenging environment AHPETC is working in, some of which relate to the 13 points of disclaimers highlighted by the auditors of AHPETC for 2012 and 13. In part 1 of the AGO audit, under one of the disclaimer on receivable from sundry debtors, AGO reviewed that AHPETC did not monitor and take timely follow-up action on its receivables. In para 2.34 of the report, it was stated that most of the outstanding receivable, as at 1st July 2014, were amounts due from HDB and NEA. While there were invoices under dispute, there were also instances where HDB were reviewing claims dating back to May and November 2012. In subsection 2 of the same para, NEA rejected 4 invoices from AHPETC because they were wrongly sent to one of the regional office. NEA further explained that by the time the invoices were received by the relevant division, the period provided for payments or credit period the credit period had lapsed, and NEA was unable to process the invoices for payment. The agency then requested AHPETC to reissue 4 invoices. Madam, invoices do not carry expiry dates. The 30-day credit term listed on an invoice is to let debtors know that they have to pay within the stipulated period, or the creditor will reserve the right to impose penalties. It is common to replace a missing invoice under the same invoice number and date, or to reissue an invoice due to amendments, but to request for new invoices due to expired credit terms is highly unconventional. To avoid an invoice needs justification. Is it right to do that just so an agency can be seen to be prompt in making payments on paper? Under the same report, for disclaimer 6A on page 23, AGO also reviewed that AHPETC does have a standard operating procedure for non-routine works, contrary to what the previous auditor had claimed. AGO was of the opinion that AHPETC should stipulate a timeline for verification work to be done by property officers after job sheets were received in the SOP, not that AHPETC does not have an SOP. Next, I would like to highlight what my colleague Ms. Sylvia Lim has said yesterday on the oversight of payments. The headlines in Lian He Wan Pao, TC Secretary and GM pay their own company $6.6 million is very mischievous. Out of the $6.6 million, $6.4 million or 96% is related to agreed monthly sums for services provided by the managing agent and the essential maintenance service unit under contracts approved by the Town Council. These are necessary recurring payment for critical services to keep our town running. Else rubbish will pile up 3-story high and lives will be in danger if residents are trapped in lift with no rescue effort carried out in the shortest possible time. Our MA cannot make payments to themselves for the above services without the chairman or one of the vice chairmen to co-sign the check. bearing in mind that at the same time there are oversight committees to ensure work is done. We monitor calls, complaints, conservancy issues, electrical issues, lift issues, customer services issue, and etc. across our town and by division. Checks are done monthly at our estate and community liaison committee meetings and quarterly town council meetings. So these are not payments for nothing or for unknown services or work done. Last, I wish to touch on safeguarding public funds. It is a waste of public funds for an incoming administration to develop a new computer system that does essentially the same function as the previous system, which was also developed with public funds. I understand in the old days, HDB used to provide town council with a centralized computer system. It makes perfect sense since town councils are set up to manage only HDB estates and the common areas. Who else would have the latest data on the number of flats in an estate, the type of flats, the residency status of the rest of the tenants, the amount of grant each flat should receive, when to start collecting SNCC, and when the unit is rented out, whole or partial. All this information affects SNCC and grants. And such systems are not cheap to develop. The old system at Aljunied Town Council cost over 20 million, hardware and software split among other PAP town councils. AHPETC has spent over $500,000 just to replicate the old system, what the old system could do, and we still have a way to go. Isn't that a waste of resources and public funds? Setting up a centralized computer system will certainly safeguard residents' interests and money, no doubt. Madam, there are many observations made in the AGO report, but at the end of it all, the buck stops at AHPETC. I can't remember if any minister had ordered any audit or any audit on any ministry or organ of state in recent times due to disclaimers or adverse opinions expressed by its auditors, but nonetheless, AHPETC has cooperated in this audit and will take lesson from the findings in the spirit of public accountability and good corporate governance.